Things just took a sickening turn for the New York Knicks as we have multiple Knicks updates ahead of Game 5, which, if the Knicks do not win, will be the last game of their 2025 season. And there are going to be changes in this Game 5 based off multiple New York Knicks updates that we have in regards to this series. And we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as we always do. And guys, if you're part of that 73% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks content. If it's a day that ends in Y in 2025, there is going to be a New York Knicks new video on Knicks Digest. I could not have said that more poorly if I tried, but that's not the point of this anyway. The point is the New York Knicks, and things took a sickening turn for the New York Knicks at the end of Game 4 when they blew it. They had a moment, and then they absolutely blew it. They blew it in the third quarter. They had moments in the fourth quarter where things could have worked, but they blew it again, in large in part due to the fact that Tom Thibodeau coached this series horrifically. He coached the second half of Game 4 so poorly. I mean, the two guys with the highest plus-minus in the series, both DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet, did not play a single minute. Mitchell Robinson didn't play a single minute in the fourth quarter and only played 19 minutes, despite the fact that he was inserted into the starting lineup. The Knicks still played that five-man unit that has not succeeded together in Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Karl-Anthony Towns. A lineup that has not worked and has proven time and time again to not be the Knicks' best lineup, even though it was their starting lineup for every single game that they were all healthy. It was evidently clear that it was not the best lineup the Knicks had. Thibodeau still goes to it, and it's been a serious problem. But there's been other serious problems with this New York Knicks team as well, and one of the key factors of this is Karl-Anthony Towns. Not the way that he's playing, not that at all. The fact that he banged knees at the end of Game 4, which has now led to things taking a sickening turn for the New York Knicks, as it was revealed by Ian Begley that the Knicks are listing Karl-Anthony Towns as questionable for Game 5 due to a left knee contusion. Now, Towns was asked about this after Game 4, and he said, "I'm only thinking about the loss. I'm not thinking about that right now. So disappointing when you don't get a win. We just didn't do enough to get the job done." So Towns does not care at all that he has this knee injury. It's a knee contusion, bruised left knee. It's going to be tough to play, and especially in a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, who's really gotten comfortable with banging down low, and getting down there and doing that dirty work has really been helpful for the New York Knicks. However, we now could see Karl-Anthony Towns kind of fade off into that heavily around the perimeter role because his knee's sore and he's dealing with pain in it, and that definitely should scare Knicks fans a lot because the Knicks offense is at their best when Karl-Anthony Towns is down low, being a true big man, because then once he gets his shots out on the perimeter, he's creating more space for himself because teams don't want him to attack the paint. And also, he's already in a rhythm because he's seen a bunch of low block shots go down, that he's had his shots fall already. And then it becomes easier to hit those deep shots because you've already got the momentum of scoring the ball. And Towns, once he gets any scoring momentum, he gets really hot. So obviously, we do not want to see this. This is terrible news for the New York Knicks entirely. And look, Towns has been awesome in the playoffs this far, or he's been very solid in the playoffs, I should really say. In 35 minutes a game, he's averaging 21 points and 11 rebounds, getting 1 assist per game, shooting 15 shots a game at 49% from the field and shooting 38% from 3. His true shooting is at a 60%, which is very solid, but more than anything, it's been the Eastern Conference Finals where Cat has shined. Cat has looked like every bit of Karl-Anthony Towns. All the people who said that Cat can't perform in the playoffs, he's showing them all up in this series. Unfortunately, the rest of the Knicks did not want to show up at all because Towns has been great. I mean, he's averaging 25.8. He's averaging 26 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists in these 4 games thus far. He's shooting 52% from the field and 43.5% from deep. He's shooting 5.5 threes per game, which I love that he's shooting that exact amount. I don't think there should be any more. I don't think there should be any less, considering how talented of a shooter he is. I actually want to see him shooting the ball more in general, though, because he's been their most consistent offensive force. I mean, Jalen Brunson has not had his best series. There's a lot to think that he's probably dealing with some fatigue or something. On top of that, that ankle is not 100%. Karl-Anthony Towns has been the best player in this series thus far. Him and Mitchell Robinson have been absolutely awesome for the New York Knicks, but they're still down 3-1. They need to pull off that 3-1 comeback if they want to make the NBA Finals, which it still is weird to say, but now it's no longer exciting. Now it's just aggravating because they should have been winning this series, and they're not because they were coached horribly, and I truly think that's the real issue behind all of it. They're using the wrong lineups, they're using the wrong rotations, and it is just failing the New York Knicks entirely. On top of that, though, we also know that the man who began the downfall, Aaron Nesmith, is also questionable for Game 5 with a right ankle sprain. Now, as we know, Aaron Nesmith did play in the last game that he showed up in, which is very important to note. He played really well. I don't know why I'm showing OG and Deuce here. That was not the right image, but Aaron Nesmith played well in that span, and, I mean, obviously he has. The man's been freaking phenomenal, and you look at the numbers that he's put up, and then you look at what he said about his ankle, and he said, just getting round-the-clock treatment, did whatever I could to get my ankle ready. You know, I just had to thug it out. So Aaron Nesmith having no problem with that ankle right now, and you look at the numbers and what he's pulled off, and as StatMuse mentioned, if the playoffs ended today, Aaron Nesmith would have the highest three-point percentage at 51.9% ever by a player with 40-plus three-pointers made in a postseason. Nesmith in the conference finals is putting up 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. He's guarding Jalen Brunson. And, well, he's fouling Jalen Brunson all the time, and Brunson's not going to call us for it, but we will do a video on all the foul stuff because there is something actually going on that makes you kind of second guess and kind of double take. But Nesmith has been elite. He's shooting 61.9% from 3 in this Eastern Conference Finals. He's shooting 54% from the field as well. The defense has been solid. Again, he's fouling Jalen Brunson, but the defense is still good nonetheless. So he's been absolutely excellent. He's been their X factor in every sense of the word. It's an unfortunate situation here, and you see what the Knicks are going through, and they need Nesmith to have a bad game, and with that ankle not really affecting him at all, the Knicks are going to have to stay focused on him, but they're going to have to switch up the matchups entirely. With Karl-Anthony Towns dealing with this injury, something is becoming evidently clear. You need to switch the starting lineup again. You do. I understand why they're starting Mitch. Pull the plug on starting Mitchell Robinson, because the rotations are not getting better. And I'm not saying you put Josh Hart back in. You don't. You put in Deuce McBride. You put Deuce McBride in the starting lineup for 2 reasons. One, because Deuce McBride and OG Anunoby have been guarding Tyrese Haliburton way better than Mikal Bridges has been. You stick Bridges on Aaron Nesmith. That's what you do there. On top of that, you have Deuce McBride guard Tyrese Haliburton, because Tyrese Haliburton has struggled more against Deuce McBride than he has against Mikal Bridges. Deuce has been more physical. He's been more adept at guarding Tyrese entirely, and that is who I want to see guard Tyrese Haliburton for the rest of this series is Deuce McBride. I think Deuce should start. You have to start a line of Brunson, Deuce, OG, Mikal, and Karl-Anthony Towns to make this work, especially because Karl-Anthony Towns cannot guard Pascal Siakam. Siakam's drawing fouls, and on top of that, he's just scoring on Karl-Anthony Towns, and if you hear the sirens outside, it's because it's just a sheer emergency for the Knicks now. You put in Deuce, you have that 5-out shooting unit that can match the Pacers if they start to get hot. On top of that, you just have better matchups then. You have OG guarding Pascal. You have Towns on Miles Turner. Turner likes to play the perimeter. Towns is happy on the perimeter. Yeah, you're going to have to fight for boards more. Everyone's going to have to fight for rebounds, and Siakam's going to be hard to deal with down low if he's trying to get rebounds, and you have that lineup of Brunson, Deuce, Mikal, OG, and Cat out there. But still, you got to try something different, because what they've been trying up to this point has just not been working out. So the Knicks are going to have to do something different, and I think that is the easiest way for the Knicks to slow this team down, is you put in Deuce, you have OG guard Siakam once again, you have Deuce guard Tyrese Haliburton. These two should be guarding the 2 best players on the opposing teams. Meanwhile, Mikal can guard Aaron Nesmith, keep him pretty much glued in there, and you just have Mikal not really play the most help defense in the world. You just have him be that menace off ball that he is. On top of that, you have Brunson guard Nembhard, and then you're golden. And so I think that's the move for the New York Knicks going forwards in this series. Look, guys, they can still do it. 3-1 has happened before. It's not that uncommon. They obviously have to win tonight because, well, if they don't, they get eliminated. But also, you have this game 5 at home. This is such a game where you could be like, let's extend this series. You got to take it 1 quarter, 1 game, 1 series at a time when you're in the NBA playoffs. And right now, you're taking this game quarter by quarter. You come out hot in that first quarter. You come out swinging. You make sure the Pacers don't get out running the way that they want to. You control the pace of the game. You control the offense. If you have that new look lineup in with Deuce instead of Mitch, you have the matchups fit better. You throw something the Pacers haven't really seen. You have a 5-out unit where Cat can attack, and he's been attacking Miles Turner beautifully, that if they play help, anyone out there is going to pull an open 3, and they're likely going to hit it. So it all would add up really well for this New York Knicks team to pull that off, because what the Pacers are doing well is they're guarding that 4-out, 1-in perfectly. They're predicting the rotations of the 4-out, 1-in. The Knicks have to go full 5-out. It's just what is going to have to happen. And then you win that game. That game 6 in Indiana is going to be hell on earth to try to win, but it's not impossible. All these games have been close. You can easily pull it off, and then you get to game 7 at home with the momentum. You could still win that. The Knicks can still get to the NBA Finals and play the Oklahoma City Thunder, a series that I have predicted they were going to lose, but not the point. They can still get there. It's just a matter of taking it one quarter, one game, one series at a time. I believe. I'm going to believe until I physically cannot believe anymore, meaning until the Knicks are eliminated or just on the verge, like where they're down 30 and there's 3 minutes left or something like that. But until that happens, I will believe in my New York Knicks team, and I will not give up. I'm a true New York Knicks fan. I am going to be optimistic because why not, guys? We've had so much of a bummer throughout our lives with the New York Knicks. I'm going to be optimistic. Guys, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks. Let's win Game 5 and figure it out from there. I hit the wrong button, and it didn't stop recording. It still didn't, guys. What is happening right now? You're stuck with me.